Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Ferrum Wrestling 411. I'm your host Gary Holden. With me of course is head wrestling coach Nate Yetzer. Nate, welcome back.
Thanks Gary, appreciate it.
Okay, so this time of year, you're a wrestling coach. It can't be any more adrenaline going through your system when you get into the NCAA qualifier. You guys are heading up to Lexington this weekend for the NCAA East Regional at Washington and Lee. How are you holding it together?
It's just like you got to treat it as another tournament, and obviously it's hard to do that, but we're training. We had a hard training phase last week. This week it's just getting back into our routine of the normal week. Wednesday's off, Thursday today's, and a nice hard practice, and Friday we nice light practice, and so it's just it's just a matter of keeping the guys keeping them in the routine, not changing anything. It's not time of year where you change something. And,
sure.
But this is the fun part. I mean, this is what the whole year's all about. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think. Our guys are ready. I mean, I put them through kind of the gauntlet this year with our schedule, the travel.
Sure, brutal schedule.
Yeah, our guys got a lot of matches in, and they were challenged, and so I think these guys are ready to go. They just got to believe it now. So
okay, good. Well, I'm good to hear that and everything. Let's if you would, let's go weight class by weight class.
Yeah,
I'd like to talk a little bit about each one of the wrestlers you'll be entering in. This is obviously the biggest time of the year for them because you go top 3 at the regionals, you make it to the nationals.
Yep.
And we've had one wrestler 2 years ago, Logan Meister, made it at 141 pounds. You had Robert Cunningham in the 3rd and 4th place match, lost. Last year you had a wrestler, Nick Rodriguez, at 197 was in it.
Right.
3rd place match and lost and everything. So you've been right there on the brink of knocking and getting a couple guys in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that's the goal. I mean, I don't want to get one guy through, but by a 3rd place finish, I think we can really break down the wall this year and get 2 or 3 guys. And get a couple All-Americans this year. That's the goal. So
we're hoping the athletic department's buying multiple tickets to to Iowa this year.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk 125 pounds. Bailey Cooper, a freshman, came in about halfway through the season. Although he's got a lot of matches and everything.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about his performance so far this year and what you're hoping for this weekend.
Well, I think he's gotten better as the last probably month. He's really done a really good job, and I think his confidence is the highest it's been since he's been here. And he should, because Bailey's a really good wrestler. Just I don't think he really believes it, but he's been doing a great job in the room, and we got him in better shape, and he turned around a loss he had earlier in the year against the Greensboro kid. So, and it is a weight class that's wide open. Besides the top guy who's pretty good, but I think the rest of it's a toss up. So
how has the weight been for him? Typically 125 pounds.
It's not
a lot
an
of
issue.
kids. It's not an issue. He can make that.
Weight's not an issue for any of our guys, to be honest with you. And it shouldn't be this time of year. So
he doesn't seem real sucked out like normally a lot of kids at 125. When they're cutting a lot, the cheeks are really thrown in and everything. And he just seems like he's walking around. He's pretty.
Yeah, he is. I mean, obviously the off season he needs to get bigger and get stronger, but it's the majority of freshmen out there. So, but he's ready to go. It's not going to issue, and he can wrestle. So
okay, all right. 133. Robert Cunningham has been in and out of the lineup this year with some injuries and everything. Is he ready to go?
Yeah, he's ready to go. Yeah, he's in a lot of ways. I think that it kind of helped him because he was kind of able to take a step back a little bit and get his shape where it needs to be and train. You know what I mean? And the last 3 weeks he's done a great job. And Robert has a lot of experience, a lot of matches in his career, and I guess when you get older, you need less matches. You need more time to heal up, better competition. And so he's ready to go. I mean,
if that's the case, then I need about 3 matches this season. Okay?
yeah, two matches there. Yeah. So he's ready to go. I'm really excited to see how he competes. He's in the hardest weight class in the tournament, hands down. And but I think he loves that. He loves the challenge. He's a guy that competes better when there's more on the line.
And he's not cutting weight this year at all, so he's not going to.
I think he's got a little bit of weight, because he does the right things. He lifts hard and. But I think he does it the right way, and it's obviously better weight for him, more comfortable with him for him. So
good. All right, 141 pounds. You got a new guy coming in there.
Yep.
You've had Jacob Bonds in there most of the year. You guys had a wrestle off between him and Jordan Jones.
Yep.
And Jordan's going to be your man at 141.
Yep. Bonds wrestled really well. I mean, he was really starting to wrestle very good, and then he wrestled the Liberty match. And tweaked his knee pretty bad. Probably got a torn meniscus, so he had to.
That's tough to
and he sucked it up. I'll give him credit. He sucked up, and he tried to, hard training phase last week, and but he just wasn't the same guy. And Jones beat him the wrestle off, so Jones is going to be the guy. And I'm excited about Jordan. He looked great at the Panther Open before he hit his head.
Sure.
And, he looked really sharp, and I can tell you if he wrestles like that, regional, he'll be all right. So I'm excited about him.
That's great. 149 pounds. Paul Biggs, a returning place winner at the regionals. Yep. Senior, this is his last go about.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, he's in a wide open weight class as well too, and I think he's got that experience. He's been there before. now it's about Paul just going out and wrestling like Paul's capable of doing. If he does that, it'll be fine. He's got plenty of skills. His shape is finally probably where it needs to be, and I think that's one thing he's been lacking maybe, certain parts in the year. But I think he's ready to go, so I'm excited. Yep.
Okay. 157 pounds, pretty much your rock of your team right there. Logan Meister just wrestling really well. One loss the whole season, ranked number 3 in the nation, and his only losses to the number 2 ranked wrestler. You got to feel pretty good about him going into this tournament.
I do. Man, he's ready to go. He's had plenty of matches in. He's seen, I don't know, he's beat 5 of the top 10 kids in the country. He's only got 1 loss in a year, and so he's tested, battle tested, more than anybody on our team probably.
Sure.
So I think. He obviously has his sights set on being in the national finals, not just the regional finals, but the national finals. So
sure.
This is the first step to that. He's got to obviously beat the guy that's in front of him, but
sure.
We've never had a regional finalist yet, and we've never had a regional champ yet. So I think he could be that guy. So
I remember you talking a couple of years ago when you first came in about talking to the team about who's going to be our first regional place winner, who's going to be our first regional champion, who's going to be our first All-American, who's going to be our first national champ, and that type of talk has got to have stuck with some of those guys, and apparently some of your guys with the records they have this year, it's in their minds and it's what they want. So
absolutely.
Good. All right, let's move up to 165. You got Josh Alston. He's been a 57-pounder and a 65-pounder. Wrestled fairly well for you this year.
Right.
He's been a regional place winner a couple of years ago when he bumped up.
Yeah,
to
the Monarch Invitational. That is, when he was down at 57, I wrestled Logan in the finals. It's probably been Logan's best match all year. So and 65 is probably a better weight for him. He was I think sucking pretty hard to make 57. I mean, he's a huge 65-pounder.
Sure.
But Josh is somebody that he gets better as the year goes along, and this has always been his best tournament. I think he took 6th or 5th 2 years ago.
6 2 years ago.
Last year he's a round away from placing up at 74.
Yeah.
And this year it's more natural at 65. So
and he's a junior as far as wrestling eligibility, like Biggs, but he's a senior. He's going to graduate on time and everything.
He came in with some credits and. And obviously, school comes first, and
sure,
he's I guess the epitome of that. So
wants to get on with his life and get out there and start making money and start living. So, all right, 174. You got another freshman in there, Rosenbaum. Blake Rosenbaum's done a fairly good job for you this season and everything.
Great job, yeah.
How's he wrestling in your mind right now?
Wrestled really good. I mean, Liberty match, he wrestled a really good guy out from Liberty. I mean, again, was pretty good, and went out there and wailed on him, and he kind of kept that. Didn't have a great conference tournament. Just said he didn't feel real sharp. He hurt his knee a little bit, but he's 100%. He's ready to go, and hopefully he's really excited because there's only so many times in your career, especially when if your aspirations of being All-American, there's only so many times in your career where you have nothing to lose.
Sure.
And these freshmen you can go out there and just wrestle with reckless abandon because there's no expectations on them. You know what I mean? And I think as you get better, hopefully Blake as he gets better, there's going to be expectations on him. There's going to be a target on his back, and this year him and Goulart obviously don't have that. So
sure, and when you got that situation and everything, you're not like the seniors who you've got in your mind. Oh my God, this might be my last ever thing. You don't got that in your mind. Just get to wrestle.
Which I don't think. The great thing about our freshman class, what most of them that are in the lineup, I don't think the pressure bothers them at all. I mean, it really doesn't seem like Blake wrestles. He's a little inconsistent at times, but that's being a freshman. Sure. That's because they changed the routine up a little bit, and instead of sticking to what they should be doing. But I think they've learned, and so I'm excited to see how they compete for sure.
Talk a little bit about next weight class, 184 pounds. Hunter Goulart started off with a bang at the beginning of the season, had a couple of bad matches here and there, but it's really seemed to come along lately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's wrestling. He's as sharp as he's been all year. So and I think every freshman goes to that lull in the middle of the year where they're like, man, this is the longest season ever.
Sure.
But and to be fair, I am hard on those guys. I have high expectations for them, and try to create a little bit of pressure on them. Because I want to see the guys that can perform under pressure. I think that's so important, and probably one of the most undervalued skills in wrestling is the guys that be able to handle the pressure and compete the same way they would any other match. So
well, with the schedule that they've wrestled this year, I mean, going out to Iowa, going up to Illinois, you wrestled all those Midwestern teams down at the Gator Boots duels. You went up to Pennsylvania. You just had some brutal competition. I was looking at the national rankings, and it looks as though you've seen well over half of the teams that are in the national rankings.
Absolutely, and that was the goal going in, and there was a couple more teams I would have liked to see, but it just didn't work out. That I thought were going to be in a competition, they ended up not being that. But and we've seen all the best teams, I think, for the most part. Obviously we didn't get to see Wartburg at all this year, but so our guys are ready. They don't need to worry about not being ready because we put them through the ringer, so they're ready to go.
Sure. Let's go down and finish the weight classes. 197. Adam Bresson is going to be your man there. He's a sophomore for you. You've had another Adam Fitzwater in the lineup.
Right.
They've kind of gone back and forth and everything. Bresson seems to get the head right now.
Yeah, well, Fitzwater beat him at the wrestle off in the beginning of the year, then Adams beat him twice since then. So it was at the conference match, they met up in the finals, I believe.
Bresson?
Yes, Bresson and Fitzwater. Bresson beat him, and that was kind of that. And they knew going in that was going to be the wrestle off.
Okay.
So, because I wanted to have the lineup set going into our last training phase, so we could really focus on the guys that were competing for us.
Both fairly stout guys. Is it a hard pull? Either of them to make?
No, not really. I don't think so. Neither one. I mean, I think they both could be 84. And who knows what the future holds. But I think both have had a really up and down years. Breston's kind of been all over the place. He's done really good one weekend. Next weekend he doesn't look very good. And but I think he's wrestling his best right now, which is obviously the most important thing.
Which is what you want this time of year.
And I think he sees a lot of potential. I mean, he's the type of kid. To be honest with you, he puts a lot of pressure on himself academically. I mean, and I think I think he was like a 3.8 last year. Last semester he struggled a little bit. I mean, for him struggling was like a 3.5. But so I think he puts a lot of pressure on it. And I think it ate at him a little bit. But now, I think he sees that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and he can just needs to go out there and wrestle like he knows how to. He's in plenty good enough shape. He works hard. He'll be fine. So.
All right, 285, last weight class. Tate Delaney has been a rock for you all year at that weight class. A junior, he's been around the horn. He's very battle tested and everything.
Absolutely.
Looks like he's ready.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I mean, Tate's he's really grown up, matured since right before regionals last year. I think that was huge. For whatever reason, he really started maturing. Then he had a great regional tournament, and then this year, the table's turned a little bit. He's got the target on his back a little bit now. Sure. So, but I think he's going to be a top 3 seed. I got him at number 3 right now, or number 2 right now, and I think he's earned it. So he beat a lot of good kids, and has some losses in there where, he just didn't wrestle like Tate's capable of doing. Tate's a guy that can take shots.
Sure.
And a heavyweight, that's,
you don't see that too often.
Exactly. So he's got to believe in that, and he's in good enough shape. I think the one thing we lacked, it's Pete Wilson, and we had a great tournament, but I think I thought we underperformed a little bit because we were losing matches because we weren't in enough shape. We were plenty good enough. Josh Austin, Tate Delaney, and Paul Biggs all lost matches because they weren't in good enough shape. Obviously we remedied that, I think, with the last 2 or 3 weeks, and a lot of that credit goes to Coach Ownby, who's been pretty much handling all the training since then. So.
Well, this is the time of year when everybody should be in pretty good shape.
Exactly.
The number of matches they wrestled is incredible.
Exactly. Probably a little too much. We probably, but it is what it is, and they have the experience now. They just got to go out there, and they've seen about everybody they're going to see. So.
Sure. All right, let's talk about the regionals then coming up. The tournament is set for Saturday and Sunday, the 27th, 28th. That's this weekend coming. It's in Lexington, Washington Lee University, about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4 from Ferrum, so not too long of a drive for you guys.
Yeah.
Then it looks as though the NCAA tournament, anybody that gets through top 3 at the regionals goes to the NCAA tournament. We're hoping for 3, 4, 5 guys to be going there. That one is going to be taking place in 2 weeks out in Iowa. Cedar Rapids, the same place when you went out with Logan Meister a couple of years ago.
Exactly. Yep. That's on March 11th, 12th. Yep.
Okay.
And we're excited to hopefully take a bunch of guys out there. So I think we wrestle the way we're capable of it. I think we have a good shot. So
Good. Well, we're excited, Nate. I'm going to be coming up for the Sunday. I'm going to get a chance to see, so I'll be there the final day of the regionals. Get a chance to take some pictures and see some of that. So, folks, anybody that's interested in seeing some great NCAA Division III wrestling, you want to make your way to Lexington, Virginia this weekend, Saturday. What time does wrestling start Saturday?
Saturday, I think 10, and Sunday 11. I believe those are 2 times. So
Okay,
they might be 11 and 10.
I'm sure they'll have 2-day passes
Right.
plus a single-day pass if people need them.
Yep, absolutely. So, and they can email me with any questions. And Yetzer at Ferrum.edu.
And Yetzer at Ferrum.edu. Great. Well, listen, Nate, good luck up there. Hope you guys do well, and I'll see you up there Sunday.
Yep, and we'll see you next week.
Folks, thanks so much for being with us. That's a wrap on this week's edition of Ferrum Wrestling 411. We'll come back next week before or after the regionals and everything and talk a little bit about how everybody did.
Yep, absolutely.
Great. Folks, thanks for being with us, and have a great weekend.